Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. If you have any questions with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these sectors, topics, and individual companies that I'm looking at for potential investments. We still have that May Day coupon code, MAYDAY, still active for 50% off first month only, and a larger discount on a yearly membership if anyone wants to decide to switch over to a yearly or directly sign up for a yearly membership. So let's dive in there. Let's take a look and see what's going on today. We're going to start with the DXY, and we've got some good selling pressure coming down from here. And to me, we've got a good bounce off the support level, and I'm looking to see what we do here next. If we get strong selling pressure, it leaves the opportunity for a much larger decline in the dollar, where we could break through this resistance support level and potentially head lower. If we break through that support, we could head down quite a bit. Now, if we break down, the dollar gets cheaper. That's probably going to be paired with interest rates falling and a potential weakness in the market. That's what's causing or potentially could cause a move lower. We would see yields drop. And then things that are priced in the dollar would go up in price. So commodities and all those things will start to take off, emerging markets will take off, et cetera, et cetera. So that is one thing that you want to be watching here is if we get a move lower in the DXY. 2-year yield, very similar to the DXY. We've got a good momentum move lower. We're creating our bounce right now, and this is where it gets difficult. Is this a strong enough bounce to hold us above this support level? Or is it weak and we roll over and break down? If I were to take a guess, based off history, this still looks pretty weak and is very much open for potential selling pressure or a lowering of yield. So it'd be buying pressure in the bond prices to go lower for yields. 10-year yield, right on support. There's the long-term support, and we're right on top of it. It's an okay bounce, but again, we'll have to wait and see if we get follow through to the downside or if we keep within the pattern. And the 30 year is definitely within the pattern. It's kind of just sitting on the top or upper end against resistance. And that still looks okay to move on higher for the 30 year. TYX TNX ratio, it is broken its downtrend. It's starting to move up. That's generally supportive of precious metals, specifically gold. So that does look good, and it looks like we could uninvert in this ratio of the 30 year to the 10 year. Those are yield comparisons. Bond prices are down a little bit today since yields were up a teeny bit, but we're still within the pattern. We are squeezing into the corner here. We can break in either direction. We can go up, which means bond prices go up, yields go down, or we can continue lower with a break lower where yields break out of that consolidation and bond prices go lower. We're squeezing into the corner here. We don't have a decisive factor here. And I'll be honest, guys, a lot of the times I look at the background information, I don't know which way this is going to break. I really don't. Usually I have a good idea of like, yeah, this is generally what I think. Right now, I really don't know. I don't know if they're going to lower rates out towards the end of the year, which would break this to the upside, or if Powell is like, you know what? If I raise rates, the dollar's going to drop and it's going to send inflation upward. So I don't know if this stays lower or we break to the downside where we have to increase rates even further. Difficult play. I know a lot of people are expecting this move though. Bond prices up, yields down. The 2 and 10, we are still inverted. We could see an uninversion of this yield curve. When the yield curve uninverts, if this starts to uninvert, that is generally when a slowdown is possible. Basically, the Federal Reserve is slow to raise and lower rates. They are reactive, and whatever is slowing the economy down, they are reacting to it. So it's too late for yields to catch the slowdown for most instances in history. Gold slightly higher. We're up about $1 an ounce. The momentum still to the downside, but we've broken a lot of stuff to the upside here. All this stuff, so we can use that as support. But it looks okay. And if yields do come down, I expect this to go up. Expect it to go up. Silver also slightly higher today. It's right on support. We'll see if that support holds. This is all this is broken with everything going on up. Momentum's up on the longer term. Platinum down 1.3%. We do have a higher low still. It's right kind of at that spot. So probably a good spot if we get a positive signal that this is going to start to move on up, that I would probably buy into that strength. And then palladium down a little bit right against support again in the $900-ish region at long-term support. GDX, GDXJ, and SILJ all have the same setup. We broke that downtrend to the upside. We've had a little bit of a pullback, not much of a bounce. We very well could head a little bit lower depending on what yields do. And a lot of these are pretty well positioned. This one's up against resistance for GDXJ. GDX is above resistance, and that one looks ready to fly if it wants to. SILJ is very similar. We're still within the pattern, a little bit earlier in the move for SILJ. XEU to gold ratio, gold and silver mining companies versus gold, still looks fantastic. We've broken the downtrend. I would expect this to outperform gold itself. Today we were up a little bit. We've got crude oil down a little bit today, down 0.4%. We're still trying to break this pesky resistance line above us. We're still within the pattern. We are creating higher lows as we come up. So we'll see if we can punch through that resistance trend line and get moving in oil. One thing that would help oil do that would be lower yields, lower dollar, because we're viewing this in crude oil priced in dollars. And if the dollar drops, I would expect this to work its way on up. There could be, if they lower rates because of a slowdown in the market, and I don't know the reasoning of why they would lower rates necessarily, but if there is a slowdown and that's the reason they did it, we could see a yank lower, a false breakout move before moving up. It's a washout sale. I call it the slingshot cheetah. That is still possible and is on the plate if something like that were to occur. TTF natural gas down slightly, and it does look like we could head a little bit lower in the short term. What this is a flag pattern, basically. We came down, and this is just a flag pattern that we could head a little bit lower down here. A little bit of weakness in the short term, it looks like. Natural gas in America, we're getting the opposite, though. We've got good momentum downward, and we are trying to reverse that. Today, we're up 5% for Henry Hub, and we'll see if that sticks. My guess is we get something that comes down, and then we probably end up down there one last time, or we do some sort of thing that looks like that. Elliott Wave shows stuff like that. XOP, yeah, you know me, that's the ETF, still holding on strong. It does not look bad. We're not getting crushed by big selling pressure. We're right up against support of that neckline. It's an inverted head and shoulders. We've broken out of this pattern here to the upside. Everything looks okay, and it's still holding on at the moment to make a move higher if it wants to. Same with OIH. It's still positioned, not much selling pressure as of yet. Positioned above the breakout. This is our return move, and we'll see if we can get some traction to the upside. Newcastle coal futures heading up just a little bit, and I am bullish on this for sure, looking for a move higher. By extension, it also makes me bullish on nat gas longer term and on oil longer term. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust up 1.36%, not a huge bounce, and we're still underneath resistance. So we need a bigger bounce. We need to get this thing moving if it wants to go higher. And this is just one ugly pattern up here. It really is. UX1 down a little bit for the futures pricing. And that's what we look like there, kind of a falling wedge, which is generally a bullish formation, not bearish. URA up a little bit, but it's not going to convince me yet that this could go lower because we are underneath resistance. We got to get back above resistance for me to change my mind. We got to get some buying pressure here. URNM, same similar situation there, and URNJ, it's a very similar situation. And I can obviously manipulate this line to some degree, and you could put it somewhere like that, maybe, but we're still below that support level. Looking at copper still heading lower. The momentum is still to the downside, and that looks like it could continue for a little bit. COPX also down just a teeny bit today. I'm taking a bigger picture view. We've got a support line coming through this region here. We do have that support area if we were to come back and contact it. We also have support going across this way at about $42. Iron ore down just a little bit, still looking all right, and not much selling pressure. Looks like a big double bottom. Aluminum down, we're back to that support level. We'll see if this thing starts to slow down here at support. We've got big support coming right underneath us in this, I don't know, a couple percentage points below it where we are today. We've got nickel also heading lower, and it does look kind of weak, and I would be cautious because the momentum is to the downside in nickel. We've got MU up 0.63% today, right on resistance support, and we'll see if we can break out through this. We also have larger support of that blue trend line right underneath us, so it still looks pretty good for support and holding us up, at least to some degree, at the $70-ish area. Emerging markets up just a little bit, momentum still to the downside. I would be patient, and my eyes would be watching yields in dollar. KRE holding up quite well. This looks really good. Big break there. To me, it looks like people are positioning before a decline in interest rates. We wouldn't have KRE going up like this. Same with the home builders, same with emerging markets. It's almost like people are putting their money into the markets based off of yields going down and bond prices going up. So TAN, a little bit of positioning there. That's been going up here recently a little bit. Same with lithium, just a teeny bit up today. Rare earth metals was slightly lower. Still looks pretty bad though. And then Baltic Dry Index right against support. There's the support all underneath us. XHB home builders up 1.8%. Pretty big up day. Still looks good to go higher too. Makes me think yields are going to go down if people are positioning in home builders. And a lot of the home builders look really strong. Russell 2000 also looks pretty solid here. So that rotation is occurring. We've got that breakout. We had a little bit of a return move, which is this return move here with not much selling pressure. Now we're getting a bullish formation candlestick. So I think we're going up. S&P 500, tough call here, guys. I would have guessed that we were going lower, in this region, in here. But it continues to go up. And we had a pullback here. We'll see if this continues to go on up. But the momentum is still to the downside. It's not a reversal candlestick or anything. So, and then NASDAQ, same thing. Momentum's lower, not a reversal candlestick, but we did have an update today about 1.6%, which it's a good chunk of a move. SMCI right on support. We'll see if that support holds. We've got NVIDIA up about 5% today. Pretty big move. And again, guys, I don't know. I can't be bullish on this thing. Just can't. With the valuations and everything up here, the bearish engulfing candlesticks, I'm looking for a move lower, but it's defied that, and it just continues to head on higher. BTC, priced in dollars, still working its way on up slowly. And then we've got Ethereum also getting a little bit of selling pressure here, and we'll see if there's any downside follow through with that bearish engulfing. It's a pretty small one, so it's not a huge reversal candlestick or anything like that. But that's what I've got for today, guys. So give me a thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website, and that's all I've got really in the markets today. Not too much going on. I still think a little bit of weakness here, a little bit of strength there. Kind of a tough one to figure out. Still just waiting for yields. What direction are yields going to move here? Is the dollar going to drop? And if the dollar drops and yields weaken, we could get that pull down slingshot action before a big move up when the dollar then weakens. But that's all I've got for today, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.